Hello everyone, it's Leah from Dime Culture, and today I'm going to show you this QOR introductory set and do a little review. So let's get started. That was a fail in spinning. Alright, so let's take a look at the outside first before I get into the paint. So basically, the outside packaging on the front says QOR introductory set, and there's 6 colors. And then on both sides, the top and bottom, you can see what colors they are. On the back is where all the info is. So it's in English and several other languages. There's even a US only health warning on the bottom, which is not scary at all. So let me list down the colors that are in this introductory set. So you have Hansa Yellow Light, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, Ultramarine Blue, Pyrrol Red Light, Permanent Alizarian Crimson, and Burnt Sienna Natural. So let's get into the actual set itself. It is a tin container. Okay, so when I was unpackaging this, because yes, I'm recording my voiceover at a later date, I noticed something on the inside of the lid, which is a palette lid. Mine had like a little nick out of it, but when I rubbed against it and tried to pick at it, it didn't feel like anything would be peeling or picking off further. As well, I'm really liking this lid because of how it has those like round circular parts. I just kind of wish it attached to the bottom somehow versus being an opening lid. You get in the box, as always, a piece of paper that basically shows you all their colors. So this one here shows all of QOR's current colors. It labels the color name and their product number, and that's it. There wasn't any light fastness or permanentness or any of that kind of information on the paper. Now, let's take a look at the paint. So I'm going to take it out of this, and I struggled with it for a while, so I'm skipping over that. And I'm going to go right into showing you the tubes itself. First, I want to explain, though, about QOR watercolor tubes. So they come in 11 ml when you purchase them individually, and in the set, you get 5 ml tubes. Now, I have heard many reviews say that for the price of QOR, it's not worth it because they are smaller tubes for a higher price bracket. Here in Canada, where I am, the prices actually aren't that expensive. If you compare it to a similar brand like Daniel Smith, they have 15 ml tubes and theirs are more expensive for just a little bit more. However, I do want to say that their tubes by QOR standards, though they are labeled as, like, say, for example, this one, which is a 5 ml, they are much larger than 5 ml. So right next to it right now is one of my Holbein paints. And yes, I've used it before. So let me compare it to one that hasn't been used at all yet. A Winsor & Newton professional one. Look how much bigger this packaging is. It is labeled as 5 ml. It is larger than other company standards of 5 ml. So even though it is a small one, and yes, I'm air quoting that right now as I speak, it is actually fairly large for its size. So same goes with the larger individual sizes. Now, as you can see, once you take out the holder, like the paper holder for your watercolor tubes, the tubes inside the container, they just roll around and rattle. I guess you could technically leave that paper in there and just pull them off of it every time, but because we're using watercolors and it's paper, eventually that would get damaged. So I took mine out and just tossed it aside. What I am thinking, because if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I loved putting my tube paints into pans. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is fill some pans with the tube paint, get something to sticky it to the inside of this pan, probably a magnet or maybe some sticky tack. I don't know. Is sticky tack still a thing? Anyways, either way, I'm going to make it so it doesn't slide around, and then you got a good metal palette with some pretty cool mixing areas. So now let's just go into the actual colors themselves. I started off with the Hansa Yellow color, and then I'm just going to go down the color wheel. So I'm going to go to Pyrrol Red Light, and then I move on to the Alizarian Crimson, Ultramarine Blue, and then I do Phthalo Blue Green shade next. And then from there, I swatch out the Burnt Sienna Natural. So what I like doing about these swatches here is I like to test out its transparency. So I do a color line down, but I also have that black line there. And then to the right side, you can see I've done the colors again. So what I'm doing here with these new colors is I'm testing out their ability to dry, how long it takes them to dry, as well as how those colors layer on top of each other for glazing. And one thing I can say is they dried fairly quickly. They do not appear to lift that well, which is a good thing when you glaze. So yay. Now let's actually take a quick look at the colors more closely. Hansa Yellow Light is from their Series 2. It is made with PY3. It has very good light fastness. It is semi-transparent and semi-opaque. The Pyrrol Red Light is from their Series 4. It is made with PR255. It has excellent light fastness rating. It is semi-opaque and semi-staining. The Permanent Alizarian Crimson is Series 3, PR155. It has a GD for good gold leaf rating for light fastness. It is a transparent color and fully staining. The Ultramarine Blue is Series 2, PB29. It has excellent light fastness ratings. It is semi-transparent and semi-staining of a color. Phthalo Blue Green shade is Series 1, PB153. It has a light fastness rating of 2, which is very good. It is semi-transparent and fully staining. Burnt Sienna Natural is Series 1, made with PBR7. It has an excellent light fastness rating. It is semi-opaque and semi-staining. Once I have tested out all the colors individually and seen how they glaze, the next stage of testing out new paints for me is to then mix them together and see how they work as a whole. Now, there are different ways you can do it. One is to use a color wheel, where I made my own version of a color wheel with this little thingy-mabobber right here. And let me explain. So what I've done is I've taken one color, my primary yellow, which is their Hansa Yellow, and I am now comparing it to how both blues mix within it to make my complementary and tertiary colors. So on one side you will see my Phthalo Blue, and then on the other side is the Ultramarine. This way, instead of having a round wheel of individual colors chosen, I'm now taking both blues that come in this set and having them side by side in comparison. With the Ultramarine Blue, it is a color known to have granulation and texture. This one doesn't appear to have that many. Another thing I did while doing out these colors was I took a couple of green tones that I already currently own from QOR and see what kind of colors I could mix with them with the blues as well, which are those ones down here on this page. I did this so that I could see the tonal range and the capabilities of the colors while mixed. Now, to mix some oranges, I did the same thing. I took my primary color, the Hansa Yellow, and then I am now mixing it with their Permanent Alizarian Crimson and their Pyrrol Red Light. And in this mixture, it allows me to compare a cooler red with a warmer red. Personally, I find Pyrrol Red Light to already be on that oranger tone. So by mixing them with the Hansa Yellow, you're actually getting really nice, rich orange tones when compared to mixing it with a cool red, which kind of comes out a little cooler, muddier looking. It depends on really the look and color mixture that you want to go with it. And again, on the bottom of the sheet, you can see that I took a orange that I already currently owned, which is their transparent Pyrrol orange, and mixed it with the yellow, the Pyrrol red, and the Alizarian crimson to see the tones of orange that I could create. Now on to some purples. Because there are 2 reds and 2 blues within this set, you should be able to create several different tones within the purple range as well. I really like how this semi color wheel thingy-mabobber I created. Yeah, that's right. I said thingy-mabobber again because I'm super technical. How it really allowed me during this testing process while I gathered my first impressional thoughts of the paint, allowed me to do that side-by-side comparison that I've been discussing for the last couple of minutes, because purple on a personal level is a very important color to mix for me, and I know that it's a very difficult color to mix as well. So having these 2 pages side by side, I can really see for down the road when I'm using this paint on a daily basis which one I'm going to be more leaning towards. Now, that leads me into saying this video is almost over, and I just want you to know that soon I will be doing a full-on review of this paint after I've had some more time to familiarize myself with it. I have used QOR in the past, but it was their high chroma set, so their color tones and they behave differently, so I really want to get more familiar with it before I say, hey, this is what you can use these colors for. So until that happens, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I really enjoyed putting it together for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And until next time, stay magical.